The next piece I wanted to go into here is the lack of feeling and how that's a part of shutdown. Yeah, these go together. Shutdown and a lack of feeling, shutdown and numbness. Shutdown is a dorsal vagal response, and it's all about conservation. The body is conserving resources in order to prepare for a potential escape. Potential. So the body shuts down. It's still neurocepting for the potential to escape the situation. But it's also kind of preparing for death in a way as well. Shutdown is a dorsal vagal response, all about conservation of bodily resources. Numbness is a big part of this. Like the body goes into actual physical numbness or even dissociation. But even though it's not just the body being numb, it's also like emotionally, at least on more of a day-to-day experience, emotionally, that individual who's in more of a shutdown, stuck state feels numb. They feel empty. They feel hopeless. They say things like, nothing will help. And yeah, this is absolutely at the bottom of the ladder. It's really the last option, the last autonomic shift for that mammal to potentially survive whatever situation that they're in. If they can't be safe, if they can't run away, if they can't fight, then that mammal will shut down and it will go into this conservative collapse state. Different than freeze. I've spent some time on that in the past and in my blog as well on justinlmft.com. In my opinion, shutdown might be the most difficult to climb out of. It is way at the bottom, so maybe that's part of it. But there's a lot that comes along with it. There's a lack of energy, and allowing that energy to return back in the system is not easy. Doing it by yourself is not easy. Co-regulation can be very helpful. This person who's in more of a shutdown state, they feel and report being very defeated. There's a lack of motivation that comes along with it. Not because they're not trying. That's not the issue. It's just they lack the energy to be motivated. This person wants change. Somebody stuck in a shutdown state, they want things to be different. They don't want to be shut down. They don't want to lack motivation or be empty. So it's not an issue of want. They simply lack the energy. Their body's in a conservation state. Everything slows down. Someone who's in a shutdown state, coming out of that, they kind of have to relearn all over again, or maybe even for the first time, about, everything, about what it feels like to be safe, what it feels like to have energy, to have aggression in a healthy way, to feel anxiety and be able to deal with it, to be able to trust and connect to people. All this might be brand new. It might be, maybe you're coming back to it, but it also may be just flat out brand new. Especially when we're talking about CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It makes it a lot more difficult. And I would argue that shutdown is a major piece of CPTSD. Actually, I did argue that. And I don't remember what episode that is, but yeah, I did an episode on CPTSD and the polyvagal theory. I want to say back in the 50s somewhere. It's been a while. There's a lack of a history in CPTSD. There's a lack of a history of connection, of safety. So feeling those things and climbing out of shutdown it's a tall order. They probably had a lack of healthy play, which is so important for kids. They may have had a lack of a healthy attachment, which is extremely important in kids. And if that's true, then they had a lack of co-regulation, and that means they had a lack of safety cues coming from a safe adult in their life. So this person, they're going to end up in more of a shutdown state. Not having a safe attachment is not something you can run away from or fight. And eventually, if you're unable to connect to safe others, you do have this more of a collapsed, withdrawn, isolative dorsal vagal response over time. So if you don't get all these pieces met, you may never really develop a true self, or a truer self. I don't know what true self means. I'm just kind of putting that out there, but we'll say truer. A really accurate understanding of who you are, how you feel, what safety feels like, having a greater range of experiences and feelings and emotions, as well as a understanding of what your somatic self feels like, what feelings feel like or what emotions feel like in your body. All this is built on a history of co-regulation. And if you don't have that, your self-development is compromised. We learn who we are in the context of others. We build off of a safe attachment. We build off of co-regulation. We don't enter the world as who we are. I don't think. We build off of what we're given. And hopefully we're given lives where it's a nice solid foundation of love, connection, encouragement, also challenge that we can meet and develop from and grow from, feel successful, feel confident. It's just a smattering of, I think, what's important to develop a sense of who we are and how we are, what we're capable of. If you don't get that, you're probably going to end up in more of a shutdown state. So feeling connection and trust and love and hope and motivation, yes, it's hard. It's hard. Not impossible, but hard.